Well, CNN senior international correspondent Nick Walsh is near Slavyansk, and he joins us now live, live with the situation there. Nick?
Manita, let me just explain to you where we're standing. Now, I'm just on the outskirts of Slavyansk, the town centre, slightly over there. In on that bridge further down are about 10 to 15 Ukrainian army armoured personnel carriers, properly equipped troops, seriously reinforced by a helicopter landing here that brought 10 to 15 more of them in. They're taking up defensive positions and they're telling me that they're here for the long run. But the problem they face is unarmed, very hostile locals who've seemingly swamped both sides of this particular bridge here. Very angry at their presence. One of them saying, look, you're going to have to shoot me or I'm going to stay here. You're going to have to go. Also angry because they say an old man here was in fact injured in his legs by an armoured personnel carrier that drove over him. We saw an ambulance take somebody away, and it also does appear that a soldier accepts that this guy shouldn't have been in their way. But that's basically the major issue they're facing in this operation. We're hearing that from the Interior Minister that at 9 separate points around this town, similar incidents are happening as they moved in to clear away pro-Russian militant checkpoints. But we're also hearing reports of increasing local anger, and people hear this man saying, pro-Russian chants, this man carrying a pro-Donetsk People's Republic flag. That is what the self-declared administration is calling themselves here. We know that they want a referendum on May the 11th, and we know that this is perhaps the government's response to that. And you see a truck moving in there, you see more people moving towards these Ukrainian soldiers. They're going to have a very difficult time here because there is not a local welcome for them. I asked one of these soldiers, did you expect this at all? And he said, I didn't expect anything, and frankly, this is a headache for me. They're standing there, and there are young or middle-aged women shouting at them from literally less than a foot away. It's quite a hostile situation, and in the sky above us too, the constant sound of light aircraft or helicopters at times as well. Manita?
Nick, this push by Kiev to retake, or at least try to retake, parts of the east, or at least retake some control back in their country, is being called a criminal act by Russian President Vladimir Putin. How much of a concern then is if Ukrainian forces continue to their push in and keep their stand and take their stand in the east, that there might be a response from Moscow, a military response from Moscow?
That's what's hanging over all these, at times localized and small incidents, the potential that bloodshed would spark a strong intervention by Moscow. We've got 40,000 troops across the border, and make no bones about the fact they will move to protect the rights of what they refer to as their compatriots. There is a delicate moment ahead here, because in the past we've seen Ukrainian troops move in, still comparatively elite, not as well trained as these guys, but not conscripts. We've seen them move into villages and be surrounded by local residents, and at times actually even give up their own weapons. We saw one instance about 2 weeks ago. So this could end potentially peacefully, and there are lots of claims that soldiers have defected sides, but I have to say the scale of operation here, they seem to have been building up for it for a number of days, and I think possibly these soldiers will keep their position and where they are. And then, of course, if there is bloodshed, or reports even of bloodshed, that's when you have to be concerned about Moscow realising that sort of threat that's been lingering in the background here. Manita?
All right, Nick, thank you for that. Do take care while you're out there. You and your team do be safe as well. Nick Walsh live for us from Slavyansk.